Okay, so we're on day 14 and we have a really great start. I love your use of productive source. If you have shorter vegetation, you're up against a nice barrier of taller vegetation. That really has a tendency to keep that odor nice and tight. Now, one of the things that happens is kind of this weird little quirk that he does shortly after the beginning of this track. You can obviously tell he's an odor. Now, what I want you to note is that tail set, the head set, and the ear set. As you have this positioning, this body posture and this positioning, this is his typical trailing behavior. He's not going to be a nose deep down to the ground type of dog. It's just not his thing. But what I want you to notice is what happens when he gets out of odor right here. Starting to happen. Notice how all of a sudden he speeds up. You get this quick little run, and all of a sudden he goes heads high. Watch this right here. Really, really heads high. Here it is. Doesn't really have much of anything, and he's trotting and running. He's trying to find odor, but he doesn't quite have it. He got a little piece of something. Now he's hunting for odor right here, and what I think he gets into is some blown odor in this pocket. You see him hit it right here. And now you're back on track again. So the big thing to realize is that when all of a sudden you get a big burst of speed, that head goes higher, and he's looking around a little bit, he's not in odor, okay? Now, he does love to follow that human blown odor versus the ground disturbance track, so keep that in mind. Going to leave this really wonderful heavy-duty productive source, and as soon as that happens, he's going to get up and out of strong odor again, and he's going to have to start hunting for it. Now, what I think he has a tendency to do is to follow that blown human odor that's drifting for a little while, and you can kind of see it right there. He's out of odor, he's hunting for it. I think he gets a little bits and pieces on the edge right here, and then what happens is he detects it from a distance. The big thing to understand is when you get those little head waves with speed, that's telling you he's out of odor. Head waves with speed, he's hunting, but he doesn't have it. Now, what I do like right now is he's not just running full bore and continuing to go without track. That's ghost trailing. He's actually looking for that human odor. And the cycles that we've been doing in training, the methodology that we've been using has helped curb that running to run behavior. Now he'll run, he'll come out of odor, but he just doesn't keep going. He's looking for it, and he stays in the location until he finds it. In this situation, what he did is he actually detected the actual road crossing from a distance, and he's running to it and then picks it up on the other side, right here. You notice here he's a lot tighter to the track, and it's simply because you have this taller vegetation barrier that's causing that blown odor or keeping that blown odor from blowing too far. When you're in an open area, even with its flat grass, it's relatively short, he's following that blown odor, that human odor, for a distance and giving up the physical track. It's just his nature. It's how he likes to work. Now, the more repetition that we're going to get into, and the more times that he actually problem solves these situations correctly on his own and without help, the more and faster you're going to be able to fix these things without you really having to be part of it at all. He's just going to do it on his own. Now, this is a little tougher situation for him because you've got a combination of hard surface and soft surface. and the bulk of that odor is staying up against the barrier.
All right.
So you make a comment that you don't think he's an odor, but he really is, and you're going to see that indication coming up as soon as he gets on the lawn by this big tree.
He's not really
What
growing.
happens is he's going to do a little head wave, head pop, and then turn around and come right back to it. Watch this. Here it comes, right there. Okay, so he's telling you exactly where the odor is, and when he picks that track back up. Now he comes up and off odor a little bit here because it's primarily the surface. It's not holding that trailing odor as much as he wants, and he actually has to get it up against the edge and the barrier again right here. You can see the importance of the edges and the barriers for him right now. It's trapping that blown odor, which he likes to follow, and allows him to continue the track rather nicely. And this is why we're using these barriers now. As he gets better, we're going to take these barriers away, or at least drop the dimensions of them a little bit. Okay, so right here you get an air scent. You're going to see a little Stevie Wonder head wave right here, and he's detecting odor on the wind. Okay, so I don't think you're exactly on track at this point, and what he's trying to do is break off into a good air scent picture to complete this search. This is very typical. It's what dogs have a tendency to do. Now, what happens when they go to air scent mode is, generally speaking, they're going to completely leave the track and follow air scent only. And that's pretty much what he's doing right here. What you got to keep in mind is that when you get these far alerts like this, and he's following that air scent, you're going to get an increase in speed with subtle body language behaviors other than the speed increase. So you have to really pay attention to that. If your speed really starts to increase, after some head waves and some air scent, you have to start thinking about timing when to stop. Now, we're not really into that mode yet because you have to read them all the way throughout. Now, look, you got a great negative, and then all of a sudden a head wave. He's picking up the scent from a distance up here. He actually bisects the track really quite nicely. But what he wants is the air scent, and he runs out right here. Completely goes away. No more scent at all. He's hunting. He'd love to have it, but there's nothing here for him at all. So he has to go back to the track line. And when he gets to the track line, it's pretty much all over but the shell. Now, one of the things I want you to keep in mind is at that last section, it looked like he was totally gassed and out of it. That's because he's out of scent and he's brain fried. It's not because he's totally exhausted. It's because he's brain fried, which is almost the same type of thing. And if he gets back in odor, you're going to get all your behavior and your great work again. So whenever you see the behavior that you just saw, that generally means they have absolutely nothing to work with.
Good boy, Ambroos! Ha, buddy, good boys! Oh, yeah, good boy!